For the album cover, I'm going to show you a real easy way to make a frame to go on your album cover. You will need scraps of your chipboard. I have one piece that is 4 inches long, wide, and then I have one that is 5. Make sure I have the right direction. So what I have in my trimmer is I have a blade that I use specifically for chipboards. This is if you don't have a big cutter, or also you need one where you can cut these into 1/2-inch strips. So I painted mine black so that I know not to use it on my paper. So this is just for chipboard. So I'm going to take the 5-inch width and I'm going to turn it so that I can cut 2 1/2-inch strips. So you make one cut on one side, turn it over, line it up at the 1/2 inch again, and cut. So that's an easy way to cut your chipboard with a Fiskars cutter. So cut 2 of these at 5 inches by 1/2. So a 1/2-inch cut, flip it over, cut in the same place on the back side, and there you have 2 5-inch by 1/2-inch wide strips for your frame. This is really easy to do so that you don't have to be cutting out a chipboard square. So you take the 4-inch one, I'm going to turn it so that I'm going to cut a 1/2-inch, 2 1/2-inch strips on this one. So there's my 4-inch by 1/2, and one more. Run it through, flip it over, cut in the exact same spot, and you have 2 4-inch by 1/2, 2 5 inches by 1/2 to make our frame. So we're ready to take this out, switch it out. Don't need to cut any more chipboard. And then put in your regular blade or your paper. Okay, so I picked this pattern paper out of the Spectrum Robin's Egg Blue for the baby album. I'm going to cut one piece that is 5 inches by 5-inch square. And I also want a piece that's 6-inch by 6-inch square. Now this second piece, this larger piece, is optional. It just depends if you want a different pattern in your back than what you have. This is 5 by 5. This is 6 by 6. Sorry, this is the one that wraps. This is the one that's going to go inside the frame. So you have one that's 5 inches by 5 inches and one that's 6 inches by 6 inches. Okay, let's put the cutter away, and now we'll get ready to assemble. So let's take the bigger piece. If you're wanting the dot to be the front of your frame, take your ruler and you're going to, on all 4 sides, line it up at a 1/2 inch. So I'm using my guide here, and then take your pencil and just mark you a line, a 1/2 inch line. Turn and do it again on all 4 sides. So I'm just lining up this 1/2 inch line here right along the edge of the paper and marking me a 1/2 inch from the edge. All 4 sides. Make sure it's straight. And the last one. Go. Okay, so now we have this placement here. We're going to glue our 5-inch long piece of chipboard right along the bottom, along that line. So the end should meet here and here. So it's leaving us a 1/2 inch of paper right there. Turn it around and glue the other one on. I'm going to glue my 2 side ones on. The short ones, they're going to go right there along the side. And line it up so that it butts up to that chipboard piece and it lines up right along that pencil line. This is going to give us a 1/2 inch frame. And line it up here and right there on that line. There we go. And now this last one will go here at the top. And if it looks a little bit long, go ahead and trim a little bit off. Make sure that it doesn't go out too far. Okay, so glue this one down. So once that dries, I'm going to take my ruler again, and I'm going to draw from the inner edge of the chipboard 1/2 inch over. All 4 sides again. This is on the inside. I know this is looking kind of small there, and you're thinking, wait a minute, that's not a 4-inch opening, but it will be once we're done. We're getting our paper ready that we're going to wrap. Now I just take my scissors in the center here and kind of poke through and cut up right to the pencil lines, the inner pencil lines, and just cut me out a square. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just go ahead and cut you out a square. The reason it doesn't have to be perfect, it's going to be wrapped around to the back side of the frame. So throw that center away. Now then, here in the corners on the inside, from where you cut where those intersections meet, just cut right up to the edge of the chipboard on the inside. That's an angle cut. So I'm going to straighten this up a little bit there. And right there. And one more. Okay, now what you're going to do is you're going to fold this in, and you're going to burnish, and then you're going to glue this down, coming to the back side of your frame. And take some glue, put it on the inner cardstock pattern paper, and then pull and stretch it. Make sure you're pulling it tight. You want it tight on the edges, right here on the corners, and burnish that. So give you a nice straight edge there on the inside. So I'm going to go ahead and do all 4 corners the same way, or inner part of this frame. This is going to look really cute on that baby album cover. Okay. One more. Oops, there it is. Lost it there for a minute. I'm like, where is it? Okay, here we go. And we wrap this. Pull and wrap. Now the outer part is mitered similar to what you do for an album. So you can either cut out the corners if you're more comfortable with that, or do an angle miter cut. So I'm just folding all of these right here. So then I'm going to take my scissors and I'm just going to cut about 1/16 of an inch from the tip of that chipboard corner. And now we're ready to attach down. So I've got my glue. And I'm going to pull this over as tight as I can. Make sure that corner end, the end there is pulled. And we're wrapping this right here. And I like to do 2 opposite sides. Okay. Now then, where this hangs over here, you're going to need to fold that little bit of a lip in. That excess paper, just use your fingernail or the end of your bone folder and press that in. And then we're going to go ahead and glue this one down. Hold it and burnish it down so it sticks. And it doesn't matter if it's not perfectly wrapped completely on the back side, because this is not going to show. This is the side that you want to see, and it's all nice and finished. Okay, so this side. So fold that paper in. That little lip of paper that's sticking over. Good look at it. Okay, let's glue it down. And there it is, quick and easy, a wrapped frame to go on your album cover. Now, this next piece is optional. This is cut to the size of the frame, which is 5 by 5. So if you're giving it as a gift and you want to leave this without a picture in it, and you want this to be different than the actual album cover, you would glue a piece of paper on. Do not glue the top edge. So you're just going to put glue on 2 sides, across the bottom, and one side. So the top is left without glue. It's going to be open. So I'm going to line this up. So attaching that down on the back. Now we have a closed-in frame that is still open on this, right here for the picture, and the solid piece will be glued down on the album cover. So that's how you make a frame for inside your album or for your album cover.